yet. Thank you very much for joining me. It's very cold outside everywhere in the world. Slide guitar. Wow, that's not quite what that is. That's just interesting. Anyway, hello to you. Hiya, Philip. Hiya, Philip. Hello, everybody that is here. If you're not here, then hello anyway. Haha. So yes, it's fun. Oh yes, warm. No, there's no snowdrift here. There's no ice here yet. That is a loaded statement, really, isn't it, these days? Anyway, so this is... oh, my goodness me. What has this week been like? Apparently, silver has gone shot up in price, right? It hit $100, not £100, $100 on Friday, which is the highest it's ever been. Now, I thought, oh, that's really high. And then I thought, maybe that's because the dollar's worth nothing now. Maybe that's what's happened there. It's not actually that silver's worth any more than it ever was. Talking of which, is this made of silver? I don't know. I got this. I don't know where I've got it. I looked this up online. It's a Perrier. It's backwards there, but it's a Perrier bottle opener, I think. And I've looked this up online, and I can't find anything like it anywhere. But it's got a tiny little mark. I found out, right, with my eyes, I can't see very well. But if you take a picture with a good camera, there's a tiny little mark there. You can probably see this mark. And it looks like a little, I don't know whether it's a Chinese symbol or whether it looks like a little Moroccan coffee pot. I don't know what that means. This is the trouble with the internet. It's got all world knowledge. Apparently, but not anything that you can usefully find if you try. I mean, you look everywhere and you can't find anything. I've just uploaded a little thing about another mystery object, which I can't find hide nor hair of. It's yes, exactly. It's a fake. Anyway, no, I can't find it. It's the actual logo on it, and I mean, if you rub it, it gets more shiny. So, I don't know whether that means anything. So it might be silver plate. It's not. I mean, I've rubbed it really hard, and it hasn't rubbed through the silvery, and it's not magnetic. So it's possible that it is made of silver. It's probably filled with something. It's quite heavy. I can't find it anywhere online. So this is my mystery object of the week. Apart from that, I just uploaded another mystery object, as I said, and I don't know what that is. But I mean, I put it somewhere else, and I asked about the other thing, the little thing, and a lot of people seem to think that it was something to do with tobacco or something like that. Ooh, banned word. But it might be a snuff box, but it might be a tinder box, like a little tinder box, like in the there's like a fairy tale. There's a fairy tale where somebody's got is it Hans Christian Andersen or the Brothers Grimm, something like that. Somebody's got a tinder box and it's filled with all useful things, and they throw something and a forest appears and all stuff like that, which is not actually what a tinder box is. A tinder box, I think, is where you've got kindling so that you could start a little fire if you need to start a fire, or maybe it's pre-matches the did you know this fun fact? Is it fun that lighters were invented before strikeable matches, which is interesting. But I think tinder boxes were before, so it might be a tinder box and it might not be. I'm not going to show you now. Where is it? Maybe I will show you now. It's right there. But yeah, so I actually, no, I can't see it. Forget about that. So I actually saw that silver had gone up, and I was like, oh, I should have bought silver. That's the trouble. It's always too late. By the time you're like, I missed the boat. Like a friend of mine, hello if you're there. A friend, I'm not going to name names because it could be, don't name the guilty or the innocent either. Don't name anyone. Somebody bought Bitcoin, I know, ages ago, and then got fed up of waiting and then sold it just before. How galling is that? So you never actually catch the boat. You always miss the boat. You never catch the boat. Nobody ever catches the boat except the people that catch the Titanic, and then you wish that you hadn't caught it at all. That's the problem, really, isn't it? You never know in this life. This life It's full of care. We have no time to stop and stare, and then if we do stop and stare, bad things happen. Let's not even go there. So yes, I'm trying to keep cheerful in the face of the world. Really, at the moment, the world is such a terrible place. Oh, we only have time to sit on our face. No. Yeah. Where am I going with that? No, yeah. So it's a. Oh my goodness me. I don't know. You try to keep it light, keep it happy, keep it produce a song. It's just like why? Oh, today, so Ball of Fire. That's an interesting film that was remade 7 years. It's a Billy Wilder, Howard Hawks film that's got Gary Cooper and Barbara Stanwyck, not Stanwyck, Stanwyck, and it's a cool film. There's lots of people in it. You're like, oh, that's that person from that thing. But a couple of weeks ago, I saw the Danny Kaye remake that is called A Song Is Born. And the thing about the remake is it's like all the wittiness, and I mean there's some good bits in the remake. The remake is in colour, and it's also got some jazz numbers. So whereas the original is they're trying to make an encyclopedia, in the remake they're trying to find all about music. So it's a musical book. So they get loads of jazz artists of the time, and it's good in that. The musical numbers are great in Song Is Born. There are a few musical numbers in Ball of Fire as well. But Danny Kaye apparently was contractually, he just split up with his wife, Sylvia Fine, who'd written all the songs for him all of the time in his life. I think he got back to it with her later. And then he didn't want to do the film at all, and nobody else did, but it was contractually. Oh, and then everybody did the film, and nobody liked the film, and it's so dead behind the eyes. You could see in Danny Kaye, he's like, I'm not into this. Usually Danny Kaye's really up. If you've ever seen a Danny Kaye, he's like, and he does all the pestle with a messel with a pestle. The pestle with a mortar is the mortar that's boo. Is the brew that is true, and all of that. And he's like, wah, wah. He's so lively. But in this particular film, he's just, I can't be bothered with this. I'm just going to say my lines. He's not funny. He's not witty. There's a few bits where he looks like there's some life in him, but most of the time he's just like, why am I doing this? So I think I read about it that everyone was like, why did we even make this film again? But you know, it has got some good musical numbers. Something. It's got like Louis Armstrong and various, or Louis Armstrong, I don't know. I could say Louis Armstrong. Anyway, it's like, what's this? Louis Armstrong, Betty Davis. I think it was Betty Davis, Barbara Stanwyck. Controversial. How do you pronounce people's names? Anyway, Betty Davis, I think, was Betty Davis, but everyone thought that it was Bette Davis because how it was spelt. And I think that Bette Midler decided to take the name Bet after Bette Davis, who's Betty Davis, and didn't realise until after she used it that Betty Davis was not Bette Davis, but Betty Davis. Betty Davis eyes. Oh, wise. Anyway, my parents went out yesterday to a big family do, which I didn't go to because I think that I might have annoyed my family, and I didn't want to go to. Apparently, they were asking after me, which is nice, but I didn't go to it because I didn't want to like show my face, and then everybody goes, "Oh no, not you," because it didn't feel like I was invited to it. I think loads of people, because my mum's from a big family. She was one of 9, so you can imagine that a lot of them have spawned, and so and their children have spawned. So there's lots of people genetically related to a lot of people. So I didn't go to that because I don't, probably not. But my mum, I'm gluten intolerant. I can't eat gluten. It's more sort of allergy actually rather than intolerance. What happens is my fingers get all numb and tingly, and it's just like, I can't eat it anyway. Bad things happen, all internally and externally and badly. No. Anyway, so she brought back loads of food from this place, which was mostly chocolate cake and big buns with ham and cheese. And I don't eat ham and I can't eat the wheat. I was like, is it wheaty, Mum? She's like, what do you mean meaty? I'm like, not meaty, wheaty, but it was meaty and it was wheaty. There was like sausage rolls and little mini pizzas and a big pile of egg and salmon. And I was like, I'm not having any of that, thank you. We can give it to the cat and hope that the cat is still alive after we've given it to her. So yeah, so that was fun. That was what I got from that. Stuff that I can't eat. So don't be ungrateful. I wasn't even there. I'm sure it was lovely. It was my my cousin's children's birthday, and they're lovely, my cousin's children. But I mean, I didn't want to go because I thought I wasn't welcome. But maybe I was wrong. Because the thing is, sometimes you say silly things to people and they get offended, and then you're never welcome again, and you don't know whether you'll ever be forgiven. So I'm thinking that probably I'm not, but I don't know. Maybe. Have we got any comments? Yes, it's difficult because things that you say to people can sometimes be misconstrued, and sometimes they can be completely construed and you meant it and you feel bad about it, but you did actually mean it. So oops. But apologies to anyone that I've offended ever in my life. I've been thinking about this lately. It's like I have said some terrible things to people and it lives with me forever. If I'm like accidentally, and sometimes I've said things on purpose, but usually when I've offended somebody or done something that's unforgivable in their eyes, I didn't realize I was doing it. But then when I found out that I have done it, I feel very bad about it indeed. Sometimes it's just a misunderstanding and I feel bad that they've misunderstood me. And you try to explain it and go, this is, and you think, this is the reasoning behind it, and these are the reasons I've said these things or did these things without realizing that would be an issue, and that makes it worse. And then that's the end of that. Don't ever interact with people. Probably best. It's like, oops. So yes, how to alienate everyone by mistake. Yeah, so that was fun. It has not snowed. It did have another. I cancelled a meeting that we were going to have this week. I was going to go all the way to Cardiff, and then I thought that it was actually going to be snowy. So I was like, well, that's probably best cancelled. And so they've rescheduled it for next week when it actually might be snowy. So I've rescheduled something for the weather, and the weather wasn't there, and the weather will be there by the time it's just like, it's difficult this time of year because you can never predict it. It's just horrible anyway. Even if it doesn't snow, it's so horrible out. Like I said last week, I was just like, I woke up and I was like, there's no light. Has the sun gone out? But you know, we would be very cold indeed. If the sun had actually gone out, we would probably freeze instantly. So we would never know. So if the sun went out, then there's no way of knowing. Either it would implode or explode, or somebody dragged it away. Like there was an episode of Doctor Who where the Earth was dragged away, and inexplicably nobody froze, even though we were nowhere near the sun. I mean, try to get Doctor Who and science in the same. I mean, it's a fantasy. It's a fantasy show. It's not a real thing, but science fiction. Yes, strange things have been happening. Yes, strange things are happening. Stranger than be. The hanging tree. Yeah. Oh, I saw The Traitors. I hadn't watched The Traitors until the celebrity one. I'd never seen it really before. I thought I saw the American one. Anyway, I started watching it, even though I was like, I am going to see that sort of thing. And so that was quite interesting. That was fun. It's like psychological. Yes, I have been seeing what's happened there. I think I've made allusions to it as well. I've said things. If you go back and look at it, I will have said things and you go, oh, there's more than one meaning to that thing. Talking about no ice. Talking about people not getting out of the way. Talking about not being. There's things actually that I've said, and if you analyse it, maybe I mean something else about it, maybe I mean something else, or maybe I don't, maybe I don't. It's all very, very miserable and very, very depressing, and I don't know what to say about it because everything is bad. Today there was an episode, not an episode, they showed on the BBC, The Diary of Anne Frank, and my dad saw it and said, did she get out of that? Did she escape? Was she right in the end? Right? No, Dad. And he was like, I don't want to see this anymore. I'm like, no. He's like, I think that probably the BBC has been seeing what has been happening in the world, and probably has been showing that as some sort of commentary. They're being sued, by the way, the BBC. A commentary. It's all very, very, very bad. Yes, yeah. Very, very bad, very sad, very, 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 very. So, yes. Yeah. Yeah. Sing, yeah. Eurovision, of which I will not watch that this year. There's various reasons why not, but I'm not going to watch that. There's a lot of interesting boycotts this year, boycotting things and this and that and the other and all sorts of stuff. And yeah. Anyway, the Anne Frank thing. This is my. It was like we did watch a couple of minutes of it, and I've seen other adaptations and read the diary and that, and it's very poignant because also some of the printings of it, they actually have the sort of facsimile of what it looked like, which is sort of like tartan. It was like, it's like that's the actual diary. That's so sad because it's just such a like an innocent looking little diary, and it's got so much poignancy in it, and it's so sad. Anyway, I was like, where was this actually? There's quite a lot of attic. It was there was a bookshelf. There was like office underneath, but there was a house, and there was a hidden bookshelf between there, and a sort of like corridor. So there was a whole like 3 or 4 stories, and they were above some spaces, I think, and there was a spice warehouse or something underneath, and an office to the side, and an actual house. So it was like just like hidden room, but it's like. Whew. Like, but I was because I've had some conversations because I'm programming some things for the for the Edinburgh Festival Fringe, and I've talked to some Americans, and I've programmed their shows, and I said to one of them, sometimes shows get cancelled, and you have to sort of venues open and shut, and we'll try and sort you out. But if you said that you're gonna have a show there, if it's our fault, we'll try to find you another show, but we like it if you don't like cancel yours. And they said there's only a few reasons why we would, like if there's a war or invasions of Greenland or stuff like that. And I said, I'm quite happy to let any Americans that are seeking asylum come and live in my basement, or in the back or whatever. I don't want to say, because I was like thinking, right, if I did have like loads of people seeking asylum, this not really nice in the basement, but it was like how so I was like thinking of the configuration of where I could put people so that they could be really well hidden, and so that we could protect them by being there. And we're on a main road, and things are going like 80 miles an hour, so it's really difficult to block that road because it's the main road. So if you try to go on that road, you will get run over, and also there's no way to get to the back really without going through the front, without going through this really dangerous road. So I was like, this is an ideal place to hide people. And then I was like, that's quite grim. Why are you thinking about this? And it's like, well, I am thinking about this because this is a thing that you have to think about now. This is where we're at. This is where we're at. If it's not you, it's somebody else. And if it's not you, if it is you, then you really have to hope that somebody else will step in. But even if it's not you, is anybody safe, really? Is anybody safe anywhere in the world? And also, I did the whole thing about what would happen in the event of a thermonuclear war or something, and where would be safe. And I thought that we would be safe because we're far away from anywhere, but it turns out not. It turns out that there are strategical places near here in the middle of nowhere that probably would not. I wouldn't be protected. So I've mentioned this before, but it's current because everything's coming to a head. Everything's like, and my pile of silver is not going to protect me. I don't think this is going to it's not going to cut it. This is not going to, it's like, here's my silver. Can I now have, am I safe now? No, because now, it's like people will raid my house and take my Perrier bottle opener thing. That's probably not even silver, just shiny. Shiny and silver is the same. So don't take my shiny silver. Anyway, grim times, grim times. Everything's bad and everybody is in trouble. And what are we gonna do? It's a bubble. I don't know what can we do. There's nothing that we can do. It's terrible. Oh no. There must be something we can do. Just do something. Just be kind to each other. Be very nice and lovely. Be wonderful. Be excellent to each other. As Bill and Ted, those great philosophers of the ages, have said, be very nice to each other. Yes, it would. Yes. Oh, that's not even. It's like I went to pick it up, and instead I got a piece of jade. It's jade. It's a jade thing for making sure that you haven't got swollen glands. So I'll be fine. I won't have swollen glands, and I've got my bottle opener. Please, there you go. Please, can I have passage to wherever it is? Oh, I need to be safe. And pennies, right? Because it's illegal. It's illegal. It's illegal. It's illegal to. This isn't a penny that's just made of like steel and it's not really made of copper, but other pennies that are still in circulation. I mean, nobody uses change anymore, but I still get change. If I ever do use real money, then it's always like less than, it's not rounded up, so you get change. So I end up with loads of this useless change that's magnetic and hopeless and really not worth anything. But it used to be until about 1985 or something like that they were made of 97% copper. I looked this up, but you can't melt down legal tender, so unless they're out of circulation. So if they stop doing pennies, then I'll be all right, and I can find all the pennies that I've got that are actually not magnetic, and I can melt them down into a big lump. Actually, I did find a load of pennies, and I was like, well, if these pennies were made of copper, how much do they? So there was about £1.20 worth of pennies that I had, and what they weighed, it would have been worth £6. So £1.20 converted to, that's high. So if you had 1 million pennies, you would actually have more than that. 6 times more than that. Not £6 million or dollars, or maybe $6 million if the dollar is worth nothing now. It's just like £100 of silver. $100 of silver. $100 of silver. Is this? I mean, that would have to weigh like an ounce to be 100. Maybe it is. It's quite heavy. So $100. What will 100? Because I read a while ago that one of the South American, it might have been Venezuela, it was one of the South American countries had hyperinflation about 20 years ago, 30 years ago, I don't know. Hyperinflation, and it at one point 1 ounce of silver could get you a house. Now, if that happens in America, you want to be worried, because that is a lot of inflation, and it means that your actual money is worth absolutely nothing. I think Zimbabwe or somewhere like that had also got hyperinflation, and that sort of thing happens. That is something to be worried about. So if you've got actual money, you probably don't anymore. There's a load of things. There's a load of adverts I was watching on the television about, oh, only posh people invest. We're going to make it so that regular people can invest. Ha ha ha, not just the elite. Everyone can. I'm like, I don't think it's a good idea at the moment to invest. your hard-worn, hard come by, the money that you've saved. You're like, oh, this will save me in my retirement. I've got £20. £20. That'll see me through till the end of time. I will invest my £20, and then by the end of the week, because of the huge crash that's coming, I'll have no pounds. Hooray! Like the whole cryptocurrency is definitely down. The dollar is definitely down. The stock market says it's up, but is it really? Is it an illusion? It's the weekend and it's not open, and maybe when it opens tomorrow morning, then it will be very, very down. Manipulation. It's like you can make like Nigel Farage. I'm not casting aspersions, but just before, when the Brexit vote came out, just before it came out, he went, oh no, we haven't won, and the pound went down and up, and then he's like, I think he said something. I think his son works in futures or stock market or something to do with currency exchange, and anyway, the dollar went, or the pound, all the currencies went down very briefly, and then he was like, oh, we did win Brexit to him, not win Brexit to anyone else, and then it went up again. So it's like, you probably knew that was a lie, because you knew that you could I don't know what I'm talking about. I am not a financial genius, although I just was it Jonathan Groff that who's I'll be back, you'll be back, that's it. And the guy that was George III in Hamilton, he famously, when he sings or talks on stage, it just everyone else gets splattered, dry mouth. So that's happening. It's a good job that none of you are here, because I'd be Jonathan Groffing you. I hope that has no other connotations. It might do. I don't know. Jonathan Groff was in an episode of Doctor Who too, and then he just disappeared, and his story should have gone on, but no, it didn't, because Shooty Cat, where is gone, and so we will never know what happened to him. What was his character's name? Something like Saucy Jim. That's not his name. It's like Captain Jack and Saucy Jim. Maybe they're travelling through time. I think he went in. Actually, I think he ended up in the Upside Down. And everyone says that there's more episodes of Stranger Things coming, so maybe he will be in the Upside Down, and he could be in the episodes of Stranger Things that are coming, and he can save everyone with his magic spit. Jonathan Groff, he is it. Jonathan Groff will save us all with his like velociraptors, just like they in Jurassic Park, they were, and they spurted venom all over people and their faces melted off. Don't think velociraptors actually did that, because it turns out velociraptors were not anything like the Jurassic Park velociraptors. They actually looked like big emus, not like penguins. Penguins don't live in Greenland, by the way, if anyone was thinking. They did. They don't. But polar bears are quite near. If you want a polar bear and a penguin can't be friends unless they live in a zoo, and then they will be very, very depressed. I used to go to Bristol Zoo when I was a kid. There's a picture of me, little child, little tiny baby, dressed in like a little white bonnet and little cardigan, looking really miserable because there's a polar bear behind me in what looks like it's a plastic or a sort of fiberglass facsimile of an ice floe. There was like a pool, an empty pool, like they didn't even have water in the pool, and the polar bear looks really, really sad and was just pacing back and forth. Had gone mad. It was a mad polar bear, because they taunted that polar bear. They'd taken him away from his home. They put him in a fiberglass dome. It wasn't even a dome. It was just up to the elements. that to polar bears. Don't take polar bears out of their icy homes and stick them in a zoo in Bristol. That zoo, the remnants of it closed down. It moved somewhere else apparently, but some of the gorillas or chimpanzees or one of the animals is still there because they hadn't finished making the new habitat for them in the new Bristol Zoo, which is way outside Bristol, I think. Haven't visited it. Haven't been to a zoo for years. Zoos, they're very awful places, really. And anyway, when I was a kid, I did visit the zoo. Used to visit the zoo. Polar bears. I liked the zoo when I was a kid, apart from the polar bear, which was traumatic. That was traumatic. But I haven't visited the new. But apparently the new one is better because it's proper habitats and it's like wide ranging, and they're not going to put a polar bear in a fiberglass sort of, well, everyone was staring down at it, and I wouldn't have thought, that's not very nice, like looking at the polar bear, you're just staring at the polar bear going, oh, entertain me, polar bear, and the polar bear's like, why am I here? Anyway, polar bear and a penguin can't be friends. The polar bear and the penguin can't be friends. Or can they? The polar bear and the penguin, they can be friends as long as they're in a zoo and you've destroyed every other aspect of their life. That's fun, isn't it? Yeah, so yes, so to answer your question, evening, Terry. Evening, everybody. Maybe that, but no, yes, exactly. Sorry, I hadn't seen any of those comments because it closes it. It's this phone is acting up as well. So yeah, to answer your question, I have seen the news out of various places where bad news is happening. But that's the thing is, that's very bad news. But there's other places where also bad news. There's not just one localized place where everything has gone down the pan, really, is there? There's a lot of places in the world where you're like, oh no, not just one, not just two, not just three, not just four, not just five, not just six, not just even more. It's everywhere in the world has gone down the pan. Everywhere in the world. Maybe not Japan. Maybe Japan's alright. Everywhere else. Oh dear, no. Everywhere else has gone. Oopsies. Oopsies. There is, I mean, defy you to think of one place. I mean, even Iceland at the moment has got caught up in something that they've got nothing to do with that. But yet, it's like, what have we done? They must be saying, what have we done? But I mean, apparently Greenland was called Greenland in order to persuade people that it was a nice place to go when they were persuading, when the ancient Norse, the Norse from 1,000 years ago, were like, hey, come and live here. They were like, yay, it's green. Or confusing people, because it's like, that can't be it. You said it was green, that's not green. What? Whereas Iceland, they were like, don't come here, it's icy. It's like, psychological. It's like the fairy folk, the fae, where you have to say, oh, you're beautiful and lovely, you're amazing. Very much like, I think that Donald Trump might be a fae. You have to say nice things to his face, or he won't be happy and he won't be joyful. He'll probably hit you in the joyful? That's not a thing. Or is it? Everybody has to say nice things to that man, because otherwise he will get very, very mad. And he will do things that you did not want him to do. So be flattering to the has got 16 Oscar nominations, though. Probably won't win anything, which will be more of a slap in the face. It's like, 16 Oscar nominations, we must win one. And yet, this is what happens. You get all of the Oscar nominations, and then nobody actually gives you any Oscars. That's what happens. And then, a lot of people say that getting an Oscar ruined their career. So, like, especially supporting actors. It's like, why did you give me that? You've ruined it. You've ruined it forever. Marissa Tomei got an Oscar, and for 20 years afterwards, everyone's like, yeah, I didn't deserve that Oscar. That was a mistake. And of course, Moonlight. Moonlight won an Oscar, but the person read the thing wrong. So La La Land all got on stage like, yay, La La Land, we've won an Oscar. And then they went, oh no, you haven't. Go away. Stand in the back. It was Moonlight all along. Ha ha ha. Poison Chalice. So La La Land almost got the Oscar that Moonlight deserved and got in the end. And does that happen to anyone else? It's like, look at my prize. Look at my lovely shiny prize. I will. This is my prize, my Perrier Award. This is what this is. Look, it says Perrier. So I've won a Perrier Award. That's how it works, isn't it? It says Perrier. I own it. It's shiny. Therefore, I definitely won. It's not even called the Perrier Award. It's the prize. Background, the comedy prize in Edinburgh for years and years and years was sponsored by Perrier. So it was the Perrier Award, and I don't think that's what the award looks like, but it might do. Maybe it did one year, and I won it. Anyway, it was like the it's been sponsored by loads of different people. I think Foster's one year, and I don't know who does it now. There was loads of people have sponsored it over the years, but for the longest time it was the Perrier Award. People still call it the Perrier Award, even though it's not anymore. It's I think I also got some other, I can't find them now, but I've got some other things over the years where it's branded different things, and I've got like a pack of cards from one year that it was some sort of insurance company who had been. So I've got lots of comedy award related things, which definitely means that I have won the. I have actually won the award, because one year where I was performing, they gave the award to everybody that had performed that year. That was the sort of Spirit of the Fringe award. It wasn't the main comedy award, but they did give everybody that performed. I think it was 2008. I might be wrong. 2009, 2010. One of the years, they gave the Spirit of the Fringe Perrier Award, but it wasn't a Perrier Award. Spirit of the Fringe Award to everybody that had performed that year, and I performed that year. Therefore, I have definitely won a Perrier Award that wasn't a Perrier Award. So that does count. So maybe it does. Maybe just saying something makes it so. I have won it, and that is so. I have won a Perrier Award. I have got proof. Yay! It's probably my one claim to fame. Ha ha. Ha 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 ha. Won an award. Alright, so I'm going to go now and have a little lie down and contemplate existence and go, oh no, and hope that everything's better next week, but it won't be, because everything is very much like that polar bear, that poor polar bear. That's what we are, that polar bear. So bye, see you next week. See you next week. Bye. Bye.